Boa tarde a todos, uma vez mais. Vamos começar.
Hello, good evening. We'll start with the press conference to Jeremiah St Juste.
TV.
Questions in English.
Hello, Jeremiah, again. Miguel Custódio. Estamos em direto para a Sporting TV. In theory, you are facing the worst opponent that you could get in this phase. How do you face the leader of the Premier League?
I don't see it as a worst. That's what you said, right? Worst opponent. I don't see it as a worst opponent. I think that we, the team and the staff, think this is a great match to play. Arsenal is top of the Premier League, and I think we, the team and their coaches, want to measure themselves with the top of Europe. So this is a great game.
Hello, Ricardo Miguel Gonçalves 00. Since you arrived at Sporting, you have been characterized and looked at like an injury-prone player. Obviously, that has been proved for a little while because you had a few injuries since arriving at Sporting. How do you get away from that role? How do you solidify yourself as an important player for this team?
I think consistency is very important. Like you said, I started off slow. Start of the season slow, pre-season, and in regular season I had some little problems. But I feel like with consistency and very hard work, I work very hard to be where I am right now. And I have to keep continue and be consistent and show that I can be there every time.
Hi, Jeremiah. Ricardo Granado of Record. Since that first few months of some injuries, as you said, how has been the help from the coach? Has he given you some confidence for you to regain that confidence that you lost in the last few months? And also a question about the Dutch national team. Do you think that with this move to Sporting that you are a step closer to get there?
The coaches helped me a lot. Not only the head coach, also the assistants to be patient because they know my character. I want to go very fast. I work very hard, and they help me a lot to be patient and work on myself. And giving me the chance to do that. Regarding the national team, that's a dream for me, and I really like to play in the national team. And obviously the move to Sporting. Put me in the right direction to be there. And I feel like I'm close. And hopefully the coach will call me up soon.
Hi. Almost 5 years ago, Arsenal and Sporting played together for the same competition, Europa League. They won here in Alvalade 1-0. I assume they will try to repeat the result. But what changed since then in Sporting?
What changed since then in Sporting?
Yeah.
I have to say that I was not here these 5 years, so that will be difficult to say what changed in these 5 years. But I feel like we are prepared. We came with a plan. I'm confident. It's going to be a great game with a lot of quality on the pitch, so it's going to be exciting.
Hello, Rui Barneto, Jornal A Bola. What kind of Arsenal you expect tomorrow?
Arsenal that wants to win. That is fresh, wants to press, a dynamic Arsenal, a lot of quality on the ball, and that's what I expect.
Hello, Frederico Bartolo, Jornal O Jogo. You now see your competition, you have competition for your position with Diomandé. Talk me about the Diomandé, the player, and tell me please who is the best central defender in Sporting in this moment, please.
No, Usman is a great guy, great person, great player. We have a good connection. We have a lot of good defenders. Who can compete at the highest level. That's what I think.
Question now from the English media.
You talk about comparing yourselves against one of the best teams in Europe. Do you put Martinelli and Saka as two of the best forwards in Europe at the moment this season?
I think so. They have a lot of quality, and they proven that weekly at the highest level. So 100%, it's going to be exciting to play against these players.
Last question for Ger.
I can just ask you what Hector Bellerin, since he's come to the club, he's well known in England, especially at Arsenal. What he's brought to the team and to the club.
He's a lot of experience. Played in Arsenal for a long time, so he's bringing that to the team as well. With coaching, with his dynamic football, and that's what he brings to the team.
Just ask you one other quick one. You played Spurs, Tottenham before Christmas. Are you expecting Arsenal to be the next level up, a different level, a much harder task?
It's a different team, different style. That's different. Two different teams, they play differently, but we came prepared with a plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vamos continuar, Miguel.
Let's proceed now.
Vamos fazer agora a questão do Ruben Amorim. Ruben, boa tarde, Miguel Custódio, estamos em direto para a Sporting
good
TV novamente. A equipa chega aqui com 4 vitórias consecutivas nos últimos 3 jogos, não sofreu qualquer gol. É o melhor momento para defrontar
You didn't concede
uma
any
equipa
goal in the last 3 matches. Is this the right moment to face a team like Arsenal? I don't know if it's the best one, but we are putting on good performances, which is important. But let's not dwell on the past. A couple of weeks ago, we were struggled in the first leg against Midland, but then we were able to recover in the second leg away. We are ready. As St Juste said, we have a game plan, we are ready, we want to win the match. Although we acknowledge the differences that exist between both teams. We are ready and we are excited.
Boa tarde, Ruben. António Pedro Carvalho.
Good afternoon, Ruben.
Uma eventual vitória na Liga
You already mentioned that by winning the Europa League, that would be awesome. Do you think that if you are able to overcome these matches against Arsenal, Sporting will be considered one of the top favorites to win the Europa League? No, I don't think so. Football is not just the physical aspect, but also the mental aspect. If you are able to beat Arsenal, we realize that everything and anything is possible. In 2 games, everything can change and everything is possible. If we are able to beat Arsenal, of course, then we would have very strong opponents, but we would be facing them with a different mindset. But we would not be favorites. You still have very powerful teams in the Europa League, and it's useless to think about what comes next. The most important is to start the match tomorrow in the right foot, and that's it.
Gostava de perguntar, em primeiro lugar, o
I have a question.
acaba por conseguir resolver os
Arsenal quite often wins
já disse que o Sporting
matches
perde alguns jogos ao pegar
at the 25th hour.
por falta de concentração.
And you mentioned that Sporting quite often misses opportunities for lack of concentration.
Últimos minutos ter sempre
You think that you should be worried because Arsenal always fights until the very last second of the match?
Acima de tudo, nós conhecemos.
Well, above all, we know very well the spirit of Arsenal.
Tem muita fome de vencer e por
They are eager to win any match, and that is why they have been able to win the matches right at the buzzer. And you see them how they celebrate the goals and the victories.
Isso também vem com o crescimento da equipa.
I mean,
E nós vamos mudando jogadores.
we have been growing, we have been changing the dynamics, and we try to identify the shortcomings and strengths that we may have. We are also on a good moment. We are ready to face the best Arsenal tomorrow. We know that will be a very difficult opponent, but I mean, all the players in my team are excited
Todos os desafios da mesma maneira.
and looking forward to this match. I mean, you don't need to encourage and the players for this match. They are 100% fully focused on this match, and that's it. We want to be fully focused
Do nosso talento que os
very
nossos
first from the whistle. We need some luck.
homem para homem atrás são muito
They will defend man to man on the back because they are a very brave team. So we also need to be bold and brave in order to try to win the match. We are ready for a strong team, and that's what we're trying to do tomorrow. We'll try to win the match.
Sendo que o Sporting teve azar ao ter...
Do you think that Sporting was unlucky by getting
a Liga Inglesa?
This draw? I mean, Arsenal is leading the Premier League. Benfica, that played in Champions League, played against Club Rouge from Belgium and thrashed them yesterday. Well, I'm not going to compare both clubs. That was the result of the draw. I mean, we were unlucky last year. I mean, the draw was repeated and we got Manchester City. They could have repeated this draw again this time around. I mean, we got Arsenal. Let's be positive. It's a very difficult opponent, but we are excited. We want to measure ourselves. We want to see where we are. And that's it. Let's focus on the positive things of the draw. We'll have a very important match against a great team, a great coach in our stadium. And we are happy and looking forward to it. Good afternoon, Ruben. Ricardo Sousa, former manager of Mafra, said yesterday on TV that Osman Diomande is a great player as defensive midfield. Tomorrow, Ugarte is not available. I wonder if you are considering putting Diomande playing as a defensive midfielder. Well, Ricardo should have told me that earlier. He's not going to play as a defensive midfielder. He's still learning the ropes here at Sporting.
Central, depois era uma mensagem.
And if I were to put the player there, that would convey the wrong message to the team. I mean, we would be playing with 4 centre backs. I mean, he didn't train as a defensive midfielder, so I don't know. Another player will occupy that position. Diamandé, if he is to play, he will play as a centre back, but he still has a lot of room for improvement.
Ruben e o Mikel Arteta têm algumas...
Ruben and Mikel Arteta have some similarities. We were former players, midfielders, and you are young managers. Do you identify to a certain extent with him and his game plan?
Não conseguiu ser.
I mean, on the top side, you already won the domestic league, whereas Arteta was not able to win it. Regarding the penalty kicks that you may have during the match, will be Pot or any other player? Because Pot missed the last penalty kick. No, we'll continue with Pot. He is still the best penalty taker of the team. Regarding comparisons between managers, I mean, we are talking about 2 different domestic leagues. What I can tell you is that the manager of Arsenal is a benchmark. I mean, we in our first season, we won the league, then we were runners-up, and we qualified to the Champions League to the last 16, but this year we are struggling. Mikel Arteta was an example because he was able to withstand that pressure, which should be unbearable in a team in the Premier League. He withstand the pressure and now he's bearing the fruits. So it's a good example for us, to the manager, to the club and to the fans. It's important, the fans, to understand that in order to pick up the fruits from your work, you need to wait.
A minha pergunta é sobre o...
I have a question regarding Tanlongo, a new player. He has been on the bench.
Muita gente se calhar tinha esperado que ele tivesse tido a sua primeira titularidade contra
Many of us were expecting him to be in the starting lineup in the last match. This time around against Arsenal, Ugarte is unavailable. I wonder if Pot and Morita is a strong enough
se calhar mais bola.
Duo of midfielders to play against an Arsenal team that likes to have the possession of the ball. Well, Matteo Tanlongo is not a physical strong player. He was playing in a league with a different dynamics. I mean, it's important to have players that are smart, experienced, that are able to keep the ball.
Se dois jogadores mais atacantes não são...
So you never know if two more offensive players playing in the midfield are better than one offensive and one defensive midfielder. I mean, we did our analysis and we have selected the best starting lineup. Mateo can be an option, either on the starting lineup or starting from the bench. Mateo is an option.
Ruben João Castro para o Sábado Desporto. Pergunto-lhe se espera alguma gestão deste...
I wonder if you think that Arsenal will rest some players because they have an upcoming match in the Premier League. Do you think that this will be beneficial for you, or it made your preparation more difficult? Well, if they played Zinchenko or Tierney, I mean, you have different... These are players with different characteristics. They usually rotate the players there. Saka didn't play the last match. Ben White didn't play the last match, but he might be on the starting 11 tomorrow. I mean, they played against Manchester City, and Fabio Vieira was in the starting lineup, and Odegaard was on the bench. It's a well-drilled team. I mean, the way they play doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the characteristics of the player. If the Martinelli plays, it's different than Trossard playing, but Trossard is injured now. I mean, we did our analysis and we realized that they are not a weak or weaker team. They are always a very strong team, and we're in a good moment. All the players are in a good moment. Every player at Arsenal is playing, so I don't see this as being beneficial for us. They are rotating the players to have fresh players. I mean, they play at the Premier League. The intensity is much higher than here. Sometimes when you play against bigger opponents, we try to manage the pace of the game. We need to be smarter tomorrow. We are expecting a very strong, very well-drilled team looking to win the match tomorrow.
Thank you. Obrigado.